think it was Rex and myself. We had these beautiful ants literally walking along like a very big river. It was a fantastic sight. I'm sure we might see something like that again. This summer, as all summers, it's always, this early part is interesting because it's still very, very dry. It's very hot. At the moment, we're probably sitting in about 34 degrees Celsius or something like that. We've had 38. I know Hoedspruit the other day, Em was saying, was over 40 degrees Celsius. So it does get very hot. But once the rains come, you just have an explosion of life. I mean, you have insects and birds and mammals and flowers and plants and everything just really, really living again. So I'm sure we're going to see lots of interesting little things as well, like ants and insects and frogs and all that kind of stuff. Looking forward to see what happens around here with this pond. I'm sure we're going to have a chorus of frogs every night.
Probably,
that'll be quite nice.
That'd be nice.
I need a tea bag again, Texan. This water is like yesterday. It's room temperature. Just needs a bit of tea and sugar and it's a drink. And it certainly started the last few days, things being so hot, and you're literally seeing a difference almost on a daily basis now in the bush. You can just sense things getting drier. Like Texan said, the dust is almost getting drier as well. It is something that we all start speculating about. Ultimately, our weather rock will be the best way to tell if it's raining or not. That will be sort of definitive answer. But the rains, we could get rain now. With the heat the way it's been, you just need a few certain things to move. It's got to do with a big high pressure system called the Kalahari high pressure system that moves in winters further down over Africa. It moves up a bit. So if that shifts slightly north, that can start influencing positive rain behavior. But there's also a whole lot of other effects and everything from people that have a great in-depth knowledge and understanding of the weather patterns from a scientific point of view, towards people that have lived here their whole lives and just have a sense or a feel for it. You do get all these different opinions and guesses, and it certainly is fun to say when do we think it's going to rain. I'm always hoping it's going to rain soon. I'm from Namibia, I'm a desert person, so I'm always optimistic for rain, even if it doesn't come for a couple of years. So when it's going to rain, we can't say. It can happen now already. September, October, we can get some big rains, but it might also not happen much or at all until November, December, which is going to mean things will get very dry. Even this pan, with that little bit of water it's got in it at the moment, will become a massive attraction. There will be more and more activity around it. And speaking of the pan, actually I mentioned last night quickly to Simon and Pete, we were looking in here with the buffalo. Those of you that saw, there were buffalo around and zebra, and then the buffalo chased the zebra off a bit. Something that will be quite interesting to see is over the next few weeks and time, if it doesn't rain, if it stays dry like it is now, this pan will become obviously more active, which is interesting. But you will also start sensing it. I felt it last night. For the first time, I really felt that tension around it, where those buffalo, they were tolerant of each other still, but they weren't tolerant of, for instance, the zebra. That's just showing you more and more that the water resources are becoming scarce. And if it continues like that, you will find more and more tension around the waterhole. Elephants will come at night. Lots of animals will come at night because the days are so warm. Oh, those two. Oh, it's both of them the same. Emerald spotted doves. Well, I'm sure if you check the Robert 7, it'll probably say green spotted dove. They've changed that name specifically back and forth 2 or 3 times. To be honest with you, I'm not sure where they're at the moment. I've just, in this specific case, always preferred the name emerald spotted dove. It's just such a beautiful name. If you look very carefully, as soon as we catch up to them, on the wingtips, there you can see the iridescence. Those 2 spots on the wing, it's got a beautiful emerald color. Quite like the Afrikaans name as well. In Afrikaans they're called a bush dove, or a little bush dove if you translate it directly. And I'll try and mimic the call for you quickly. It's one of my favorite sounds. Let me grab this as well, it might help for that. That's the sound they make. It's just a beautiful, beautiful bushveld sound. I was sort of still saying something about the rain, but I must be honest, I forgot what I was saying now. There's still one point I wanted to make. Oh yeah, just the tension around the waterhole. It will be very interesting to see how this tension will mount. And also because the days are so hot now, more and more animals will come to drink at night. So if we don't get big rain soon, I'm going to make a bit of a prediction if you want, or just hypothesize about it, but there will certainly be more and more activity during the night. Thanks, Pete. And there will be more and more activity around the waterhole during night time, but also there will be a bit of tension. There will be a little bit of tension between species, which is understandable, obviously, but which will make for interesting animal behavior to observe. And I'm even going to go as far as saying that if it stays dry, especially if we don't get rain, let's say for another 2, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, then we might have a bit of action around the waterhole as well. More and more animals coming here will ultimately mean that things like lion and leopard will become aware of the fact that, listen, there's animals that are distracted by the competition for water, and if they're busy chasing each other around and there's tension between them, then their alertness is focused less elsewhere, in other words, where the lion might be waiting. So it'll be interesting to see, but we might have a bit of violent action around the waterhole as well during some of the nights over the next few weeks. What else was there? There's quite a few things coming through quickly. Baby impala from last year, to be honest, I can't remember specifically. Maybe it was while I was away or something, just saying there was a young impala that was injured, presumably from wild dogs or while they were around. That does happen. I mean, over time, I've seen quite a few injuries on animals from predators. Quite often they survive. Chat's almost over.
And Ian, did you get your comment about the tiny frogs? I guess I'll have to wait and see how annoying they are, and I guess I'll let you guys know.
Does the wood pigeon have a similar call? Makes sense. The bush dove, if you translate the Afrikaans name to the wood pigeon. Yeah, you do get some beautiful bird calls. Everything from excited, beautiful songs to some of them like the emerald spotted dove, almost melancholy and sad. It's something very, very sensitive almost in their call that I like. Just a quick question there. Again, we touched on it yesterday, but it was quite a touching experience at the time. I remember myself, I felt quite emotional about it. It was a buffalo cow that was at Buffelshoek Dam, very badly injured. She could hardly walk. And I mentioned yesterday that the buffalo, about a week ago, Rex and myself saw her with a big herd, and she joined them again. She was still limping, but much less, so she'd obviously felt better and was back with the herd. So that's at least a positive thing for her. Just the name again of that bird, the one we're looking at now is a grey lory. JP, I'll answer the name of the previous bird for you just now. Grey lory, we've seen them often, we will see them often down here again. Always nice to view these birds. Quite a large bird, just to give you a size perspective. We should actually go put a matchbox there on the edge of the water pit. Just leave it there permanently, so we can always see how big they are. A grey lory, nose to tail, is probably about that long. And if it was sitting here now, its legs were here, the crest would be up about there. So it's quite a large bird. The one that we saw just a little bit earlier, JP, was a Karichani thrush. I can't remember the spelling. Kurrichane, I think. It was named after Chief Karichani, who was a chief in the Mafeking area, Zeerust, sort of what is now called the northwest province of South Africa, up towards Botswana. He was a chief in that area, and whoever the person was that scientifically described that specific thrush named it after that chief. Another beautiful view of the lory flying away. And another lory coming in. I think as soon as we've got a nice look at that lory, we're going to say goodbye, Simon and myself. And you're going to enjoy the waterhole, and we'll see what happens and how it happens with the chat. Really enjoying this. It's something that, there we go. We type that in there. Someone spelt the name there for us. Is that you, Pete? Someone else did. Thank you very much. That looks like the right spelling if I remember correctly. What we enjoy. Few spell checks there. Thank you very much. Guys, really is. Ultimately, the interaction is what a big part of what we're experiencing and exploring with you at the moment. Is having this chat, having the ability just to communicate real time is a big part of it. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
And Simon, people are going to see lots more of you.
Yeah, probably going to see lots more of me. I'm probably going to be behind the camera most of the time, but I'm sure they'll get me in front a couple of times, like with chats and various other things, so you'll probably be seeing more of me.
Yeah. Guys, but in the meantime, thank you very much for joining us. We'll see you again later. Bye-bye.